Hello everyone and welcome to the 61st episode of NiinaNknitting. My name is Niina and I live in Jyväskylä in central Finland with my husband, our 2 kids and a dog whom you saw in the intro. I recorded that at my mother-in-law's about an hour's drive from here, a week ago maybe. Today is Friday, the 7th of August. It's been I think it's been a month since I last uploaded an episode, but I've been recording video clips of my finished objects during this time, and I actually took some video from our trip to my mother's. She lives in Järvenpää, which is in the southern Finland. We'll start with some FOs in the video clips. Here's a finished pair of socks. I showed you this as a whole, a half-finished object last time, I think. I didn't use any pattern, just cast on 48 stitches 2x2 ribbing, and then plain vanilla, and this bichon frisé was a chart that I found online and modified a little bit for the sock. And I used Novita 7 veljestä yarn for these, and now they're finished for a friend of mine. Now here's another pair of Novita 7 veljestä socks. I didn't have a pattern for this one. I only checked online that for the faux cables you need a 3x2 rib, or that kind of amount of stitches, so I cast on 50 stitches and started doing the faux cable. So you have 3x2 ribbing for 3 rounds, and then you do this. Well, you can see 1 round differently, and then 3x2 ribbing. And these are about size 39. I continued doing the cables. Ooh, we can't see anything. All through the sock in the front until the Kitchener stitch bind off, or Kitchener the toes, and did them in the heel flap also. I'm not sure how well this faux cable wears, but hopefully not too badly. And then I did a French heel turn and normal gusset decreases. And yeah, another pair of socks done. Now here's a third pair of socks that I made for this friend of mine, still from Novita 7 veljestä yarn. I used 2 different colors. This pattern is called Laid Edges. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Kellie Macpherson. And in the pattern, this cable goes down on both edges of the foot, but I preferred it just on one side of the foot, and starts with from the cuff 48 stitches and then some ribbing. I made it a little bit shorter than in the pattern. The pattern is told to make 15 rounds. I only made 10, and then I started doing this the rest of the sock in 2 different colors using helical stripes, and this pattern was from the or this cable was from the pattern. I chose to do the heel in one color. It's the eye of partridge heel flap, which is described in the pattern, and then a French heel turn. And I did a wedge toe here and Kitchenered it. The decreases were at a slightly different rhythm in the pattern, but I wrote it down in my notes which kind of decreases I made in the toe. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty nice, and now it's ready to be given to this friend of mine. I made this pair of socks for my sister, older sister, who's always hot. So I thought that a pair of ankle socks might be okay for her. Found this pattern on Ravelry. It's called Bells on Their Toes. And I'm just gonna drop one of these so I can show it better. The designer is called Quade. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and she's got some other really nice sock patterns too, so I might there was at least one of them that I think I might knit. I used Drops Fabel yarn for this. It's 75% wool, 25% polyamide virgin wool, I think. And the colorway is number 113, burgundy. And these are a pair of toe-up socks. And I knit them 2 at a time on magic loop. I only had one skein of the Fabel yarn. I bought it specifically for this pattern, for this project, and I was sort of worried that I'd run out of yarn because it's only 50 grams a ball, but I used 35 grams for these. So they're toe up, and then there is a picot bind off. Of course you can use whichever bind off you like, but I did the picot, casting on 1 and binding off 4. I don't remember if that was the way the instructions were, but that's how I did it. It has a short row heel, and I very, very rarely knit them, and it kind of shows. I used German short rows. The pattern had wrap and turns, but from previous experience, I wasn't good at that, so I tried the German short rows. Maybe they were a little bit better. But yeah, this is really, really nice, really pretty pattern. This lace was not easy to remember, but thanks to Knit Companion app, I was able to stay on the right line of the chart, so that was okay. And I used 2.5 millimeter needles. That's US size 1.5, I think. Yeah, they're really pretty, and I recommend the pattern if you want some nice shorty socks. So I hope you're not fed up with socks yet, because I have called this episode the Sock Quintet, haven't I? And a quintet has 5 musicians in it, and here's my 5th pair of socks. This is a test knit for Alpha Knits, Atelier Alpha. I've knit a tunic from her before, maybe last summer or the summer before that. This is a pair of toe up socks, and I knit them 2 at a time on magic loop.
The yarn I used is Lana, Pro Sock or something. It'll be in my notes. And if you have any questions, you can always ask in the comments. But this is how it looks in stockinette, more or less. But of course, this pair of socks has some motifs in it. This motif is really, really easy to remember. And then there are some heel increases, and then you turn the heel and do some more motifs on the way up until you get to the point where you start the color work. And I've told you before that I'm not a fan of color work, but I decided that I could use this much practice, because practice makes perfect. So this is size large, and I'm not sure, I'm guessing this might be European size 45 or 47. So it's quite a big sock. Maybe big enough for my husband's feet, but he will not wear multicolored socks like this, or he doesn't want any motifs in his socks. So I'll give these to somebody. But the pattern itself was really, really nice, easy to follow, and there was these twisted ribbing at the top of the foot, and then the bind off. I think it's called I've heard it called the Icelandic bind off, but whatever. So yes, this is my 5th pair of socks, and you hadn't seen these before because I started them after I recorded last, and this is the last pair that I finished after my last episode. But that's not the only FOs that I have, the socks, because I have finished my Stillness Shawl Mystery Cal from Helen Steward. And if you haven't finished yours and you don't want to see it, well, you could close your eyes, but here it is. And I'm gonna back up to show you it, show it to you in its entirety. But here's where I left you off last time. So it starts from the middle in here, has some eyelet increases, then you have some striping, a bit of motif in here, some more stripes, a bit of lace in this section, a bit more stripes, and then the same motif that you had earlier, and then some bordering. Very nice. So I used 2 different colorways of Lang yarns. These are the 2 colorways. I hope you can see it because they have stellina in them, these 2. And then the off-white is Novita Venla. It'll be in my notes. But now I'm just gonna back up so I can show it to you. So as you can see, it's more or less my wingspan. I'd say, well, I'm 165 centimeters myself, so this is 160 at least, I think, wide, and well, I'd say less than a meter shallow, but a very nice sort of autumnal colors. I really like them. Maybe to wear like this, or so let's see if I can. That looks pretty nice. I don't know, but yes, it'll be warm for next winter. Probably what I'd say almost always do, under my coats, winter jackets. This is how I use my shawls in there. Yeah, it'll keep me warm next winter, I'm sure. And it's very pretty. Right, so there's all my finished objects. Quite a few, but you know, pairs of socks are pretty quick to knit. So considering that it's been such a long time since I uploaded a video, it's understandable. I hope you're not fed up with socks yet, because even though I had a lot of them in my FOs, I actually do have some in my hose also. So hoe, which of course means half finished object, and one of them is looking really not really nice because I haven't blocked it, but this is one of the pair of In Memoriam socks. It's a pattern by Tiina Kuu. It was stage 1 pattern for Sukka Finlandia one of these years. I just can't remember which. It's a top-down sock with color work, and I talked about these earlier, last time I recorded, I think. My color choices, or my colorway choice, was not good. I think I'm doing size large, and the very multicolored yarn here, which is my main color, is some Novita Venla. I don't know if I have the ball band in here. I don't. Anyway, it's a 75% wool, 25% polyamide blend. And then the contrasting color is Props Fabel. I have it in here, and it has a ball band. And it's the same weight, 420 meters in 100 grams. The colorway is number 103. And the same fiber content. This is actually 410 meters, but close enough in the weight compared to Novita Venla. And yeah, never choose colors that are this close to one another when you're doing color work, if you want to learn something from my mistakes. Last time I recorded, I must have been here because I have my project keeper in there. So I was past the heel, and after that I made a couple of repeats of the motif and then the toe. I was doing or trying to finish these so that I had to, in a way, make one motif each day. And I did that until I finished the first sock, and after that these have been, or this project has been sleeping, because I wanted to, well, I started a test knit, the one for Alpha Knits that I showed you last, and then I of course had to finish that, and then I knit my sister's ankle socks also, and I wanted to finish those, so that's why the second sock has not been cast on yet, but I will. Once I finish my other test knit, even though as a test it is already finished, so this sock, another test knit. This is from a Finnish designer called Ida-Maria Tyyskä. The pattern has the name Ruusu socks. Ruusu is rose in Finnish. And I'm not sure if she's gonna call the pattern Ruusu socks or if she's gonna come up with another name, but at the moment they're called Ruusu socks. Yeah, so this is a pair of toe-up socks. I knit size small, so that's 60 stitches around. The circumference is 60 stitches, and I used Austermann step yarn for this. It's 75% virgin wool, 25% polyamide, and the colorway is number 0357. And this, as you can see, is a self-striping yarn. And then I used some leftover yarn in the colorwork part. This is Lang Yarns Jawoll Magic. This pink color is number something 1603, I think. And what can I tell you about these? I just filmed a section with these about these socks, and I think I'm running low on memory in my phone, so it had just cut off, and since I can't really see the screen, I didn't realize that it had stopped. But yeah, so it's a pair of toe-up socks. So that's where I started. It has this stockinette foot, and at some point you start doing increases for the heel, and then you do the heel turn. Yes, it uses German short rows here, and I think they look pretty okay. One thing to know about this pair is that you really can't do them two at a time, because once you start doing the increases on the first increases, you do need to do something with 2 stitches from the other needle. If the heel is done on needle 2, but you need two stitches from needle 1 to do the heel increases. So I had thought about doing these 2 at a time, but my ball of yarn just wouldn't play. I couldn't find the other end of the yarn in here, and it just had a really huge knot inside. So I just started knitting one, and I'm glad I did, because once I got to the heel, I realized that, oh man, you can't do these 2 at a time. Or yeah, you can, but it's hard work, and I don't want to use that much brain power. So when you start turning the heel, you have this really, really beautiful cable on each side of the sort of heel, the ball of your heel, and that gets united behind the heel. So that's really pretty. I really like that. Then you have a section of stockinette, and then you start the color work. And the instructions say that when you start color work, go up a needle size. I'm a tight knitter when I'm doing stockinette or just something with one color. But when I'm doing color work, I'm very worried that I'm too tight, or tighten the yarn too much, or have too much tension, and I overcompensate, and I know that. And that actually shows in my color work in here. I'm pretty sure that once the sock is on your foot, you won't notice anything. But yeah, the designer instructed to use ladder technique when you're doing color work. It's something that I had heard about, and I had watched Nathan Taylor's, so Sockmatician's tutorial on it, and I did use it in here, and that's why the color work on the wrong side looks like this. Yeah, it's not very neat. My color work isn't. That's just the way it is. I don't practice enough, I know. That's why I try to do every once in a while a little bit of color work so that I would get some practice and maybe get better at it. Anyway, then it has a twisted rib, and the bind off, the pattern had a different bind off, but I didn't think I would make it stretchy enough, so this one has the Icelandic, I think, bind off. So you knit through the back loop, you purl, and then you put both stitches back on your left needle, and then you knit through the back loop, knit the two together sort of through the back loop, and then you work the next stitch, etc. Maybe I'll put a link in the show notes. But yeah, so I don't know what else I was saying about these socks. I hope they'll fit my daughter. They're really pretty. I haven't tried them on her yet. I did try them once I had started to turn the heel, but I'm not sure if they are a good fit or not. We'll see. Yeah, before I run out of memory again, I'll show you my last whip, which is not a pair of socks. It's a shawl that I've had in my queue, or well, actually not in my queue, but in my plans for years and years. It's the Brioche-licious by, oh, this is the wrong side, by Andrea Mowry. So this is the right side of it. I'm using two skeins or two colorways from Silmusolmu in here. These are Silmusolmu Säihky-Sukkin, so that's the one with stellina. It's not focusing. Take my word for it. It's got 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. 400 meters in 100 grams. So two different colorways of that. This gorgeous yellow is called Aurinko, so that's the sun in Finnish. And then this delicious red colorway is Kirsikka, that's cherry in Finnish. And they both have stellina. And I know that stellina is super difficult to get to show on camera, so I'm not convinced that I'll be able to do that, but it has stellina. It's really, really pretty. I'm really loving it. So this pattern has a section of garter stitch, then you have the two colored brioche. That's the wrong side again, sorry. Two colored brioche, and then this the color the garter stitches again. So that's how it goes. I'm really enjoying it, and I had seen a tutorial from Nathan Taylor on how to do a brioche. He called it one pass brioche, so where you don't have to knit the same row twice, once with one color and then with the other one. And I tried to do that, and then I realized that one of the reasons why I really don't enjoy color work is the fact that you're holding two yarns in your hand and it's fiddly. I enjoy the fact that I only have one yarn and I work with that, and okay, then I slip all the stitches back on the needle, and then I knit the same row again with the other color, and that's fine. I'm fine with that, especially since I'm not in a hurry to finish this. So I have one skein of each color, and the brioche, two color brioche sections will always be with the cherry being one of the colors. You're supposed to have two skeins of the main color. I think Sirpa, who is Silmusolmu, doesn't dye Aurinko anymore. So I had bought one skein of the same sort of stellina yarn from her. This colorway is called Kultakuume, so that's Gold Rush. And if you put these two together, you can see that, yeah, this is really, really bright. This one is sort of a little bit more muted, and I'd say going towards green or sort of a colder color in my eyes. So once I run out of this, I'll start using this, but we'll see when that is. Okay, I'm really having trouble with the memory of my phone, because I'm using my phone to record. So something, just general chit chat, very, very fast, quickly. This is Friday. Next Monday will be the first day at school for my son. He's starting vocational school. He's doing ICT studies. And then on Wednesday, my daughter will start 2nd grade. She is anxiously waiting, and she's a little sour because my son gets to start on Monday and she'll have to wait until Wednesday. But that's the way it is here in Jyväskylä. And yeah, I'm not gonna talk longer because I know this will stop anyway. I have added, or I will add, some video clips from our trip to my mom's in Järvenpää mid-July. We drove to my sister's first and then to my mother's, and then we spent about a week there. There's some footage of us driving there. It was pouring down rain, and then a couple of minutes later the sun was shining beautifully, and there was a few fluffs of clouds in the skies, and so just crazy. And then there's some video of my mom's flowers and berries, and then I walked the dog in the city of Järvenpää where I grew up. So I took some video of my middle school and my high school, and just some sceneries from Järvenpää. So if you're interested, I think it's going to be a little long, so if you're not interested, you can just skip it, and we'll see. I'll see you next time, whenever that is. Sorry, almost forgot. My YouTube channel turned 4 at the beginning of July. I will do a giveaway. Maybe I think I might do a Q&A kind of video, because I've never done that. So leave me questions, anything below, and I'll draw a winner out of those questions. I know that people are having trouble with Ravelry. I will have my show notes here below, and I have links to my Ravelry projects. If you can't use Ravelry, feel free to ask me whatever that's, you want to know about my projects that I've made. I'm really, really bummed that Ravelry isn't accessible to everybody anymore. I'm a lazy person. I just